Ah, good night, good night, and good night. So it's Tuesday. Digital Age was done last week. But you know what? I decided that it wouldn't be right to not have a bonus episode kind of breaking down the behind the scenes of the digital age, how it started, you know, when it started, why it started, everything that went into getting to this point where we finished out season one last week. And you know what? For everybody that tuned in for every single episode, I gotta give y'all a round of applause. I gotta give y'all a round of applause. So what this episode is really all about, right? Is if you have been following me, especially on Instagram, since about February, March, COVID happened, and I decided, you know what? I had a lot of things that were planned. Like I had a lot of workshops that I was going to do in person, and all of those plans got shelved. So I decided I want to make a pivot, right? And we're going to get into the digital age and how that went in. But first, I need to shout out the people that are tuning in. So if you are watching from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you're watching from, let me know in the comments that you are here. Let me know what country you're representing. If you are in Jamaica, St. Kitts, Anguilla, St. Lucia, the Netherlands, the UK, the US, Canada, wherever you are from, Trinidad and Tobago, wherever you are from, let me know in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're locked in. Because tonight is going to be all about, again, just breaking down how we can step up our live streaming game. Because you know what? COVID isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And we've been watching live streams and webinars since about, February, on and off. And if you're like me, you're burned the hell out. You are burned out, right? So now, to keep people engaged, we got to go a whole other level than just the typical lives and webinars. So what I have going on today is I have two feeds going. So I got the regular feed that you guys are accustomed to, but I've also left the IG Live on. So my IG Live fan can kind of tune in to the behind the scenes as to what's going on. If you guys want to actually see or join the conversation that's happening with everybody else, feel free to hit the link in bio. Hit the link for the bonus episode, and you guys can pick any one of the other platforms because there is a whole show going on. You guys are getting the behind the scenes. I just wanted to leave the IG feed on for you guys so you guys can still kind of tune in and see what's going on, right? So who do we have in the building today? We got Renata Mohammed. She's out in Barbados. We got Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine. We got Keisha. She's in the mix. We got Ashton Mills, Trinidad in the building. Beautiful. We got Rayad. Rayad is out in Blanchy-Chez. Woo! I wish I was there right now and taking in some of that beach and that scenery. Abraham Sutherland, what is going on? Shout outs to you and what you're doing with I Love Tobago. I love it personally. We got Simone. Yes, switch to YouTube. I love it. We got John. John's out in Trinidad. We got Adafi. Hey, how you doing? And who do we have in the IG Live? If you guys are in the IG Live, let me know what you guys are in here. Like I said, if you guys want to see the produced show, hit the link in bio, hit the bonus episode, and you guys can visit and watch the live show from any one of those listed platforms. Just hit the link in bio, hit the link, and pick any one of those platforms that you guys want to check it in from, all right? So the majority of my attention is going to be placed on my main camera. I'm going to check in with you guys in IG, and I'm going to give all of you guys the behind the scenes as to this entire world, this entire setup, all right? So as you guys have been accustomed to, for those returning, and if this is your first time here in Digital Age, I want to welcome you. But you know, an episode doesn't kick off until we drop the intro. Hit it. Beautiful. So, where do we begin? You know, I think we got to take it from the top, right? We got to take it from the top. We got to take it from the top. Yes, Elena, this is a behind the scenes. We have a lot of questions. People want to know how to live stream. They've been asking me since I started about live streaming and all of the mechanics that go into it. So this is really a behind the scenes, all right? But nonetheless, we now skimp on the excellence, as my sister from Jamaica says, Dr. Terry Carell, shout outs to her. We now skimp on the excellence. So we still wanted to make it a quality show, right? So here's how this is going down. If you guys, this is your first time tuning in, you guys know I like to give you guys a bit of a breakdown as to what we're going to talk about, right? Again, IG fam, you guys will not be able to see this unless you hit the link in bio and watch it from any one of the platforms in the link in bio, right? Hit the bonus episode, choose any one, you're going to see the produced show as to what's going on. What we're going to be talking about today is we are going to dive into why and how I started the digital age. Then we're going to break down live streaming. You know, we're going to talk about making a web show. We're going to go from, you know, being those people that simply, you know, pick up their phone and hit live on Facebook or hit live on YouTube or Instagram. And we're going to show you a bit of, you know, what goes into doing all of this. All right. And then lastly, we're going to do the Q&A. And we're going to get through all of your questions, all right? So you guys could drop those questions. Again, this is a bit of an informal episode, so I will this time be, if I see some questions, I'll take it. If I don't get to your question during the show, then, you know, save it for the end, and I will get back to that question, all right? So let us drop the timer. Let us get that timer set up, all right? You know, I like to keep you guys in the loop, make sure that, you know, we try to stay on focus, stay on time. You know what I mean? All right. So how and why the digital age started. So like I was saying a little bit earlier, 2019, I started to do a lot of in-person workshops. And the goal of those workshops were to meet people where they were at and teach them how to go online, right? So the majority of people in the Caribbean still have a bit of a hesitation to building out their brands and businesses online. And if you want to convert people, if you want people to actually start to go online, you know, you can't do it from a place of, okay, we're online and I need you guys to meet me online for us to teach you about coming online, right? You got to meet them where they're at, and where they're at is offline. So I held a series of in-person workshops, and those workshops went over pretty well, and we were transitioning everybody online. So end of the year, you would have seen, or if you did see, I had a partnership with Eastern Credit Union going on where we were doing exactly that. We were doing a bunch of different seminars. Everything was geared at educating people to go online. COVID hit, right? And as you guys know, COVID hit. All of a sudden, you can't be congregating. You can't do any sort of mass gatherings. You can't do anything in person, right? That requires a crowd. So that means that everything, speaking engagements, workshops, everything I was doing just got dash way. All right? Effectively. So, I mean, my thing was, what is something that I could do that is still gonna be different, still gonna be effective, still gonna be fun, still gonna be engaging. What on earth can I do from a digital perspective? What can I do? And I started to watch a lot of different YouTube videos. I mean, at that point in time in February, March, we were watching a lot of Zoom webinars, whatever. And I was like, yo, why is it that the majority of these webinars being put out are boring? Listen, shout outs to everybody that's putting out content, doing webinars, doing live streams. It takes a tremendous amount of effort. But if you can't hold a crowd digitally, no one's we're gonna tune out, and the message is gonna be lost, right? The message is going to be lost, or we're just gonna just switch away, or we're gonna walk to the kitchen and never come back. We might leave your thing on, but we'll walk away and never come back. So how you hold a crowd digitally is so different than when it's in person, right? And when I'm watching these Zoom webinars, I'm dying. I'm literally sitting in my seat, sleeping on myself, dying. I'm like, yo, who is doing lives, like professional lives, and making it engaging and looking good, right? Because it's one thing for a artist, a musician to do their thing. I mean, you're listening to music, it's automatically engaging by nature, right? But from a business perspective, who is doing it? So I started to watch a lot of YouTube lives, and I started to see a lot of gamers. Gamers are really just sitting there playing video games and engaging with you, and their setups are crazy. So I started watching some of these gaming live streams. I'm like, yo, like, this is dope. Like, these people are really, really producing live streams for their video game streams, and then they're getting paid on Twitch. So that led me down the rabbit hole as to what they're using, what hardware, what software, how are they able to, you're playing your video games, you're talking smack to the people in the game, you're talking smack to the camera. Like, how are you guys doing all of these things? That led me down the rabbit hole to start looking at the people who are doing live streaming for business, right? And once I seen people doing the live streaming for business, I was like, okay, I see the difference. I see the difference of who is producing a live show and who is just going live, whether that be on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Zoom. I see the difference between those who are producing live shows and those who are just going live, right? For my IG fam that just tuned in, if you guys want to hit the link in bio, hit the bonus episode, pick one of those platforms, you guys can tune in on the main conversation happening and see, everything in a much better format. All right? All right. So in seeing all of that, I decided, okay, this was the direction. This was the pivot. This is what I was going to do the pivot, but this was also how I was going to separate myself from the onslaught of lives and webinars that were happening. I wanted to produce a live show, right? And here's the thing. When I started, I did not go out looking for sponsorship. I didn't go out looking for anybody to jump on board. I had done a couple of jobs, saved up some money, and decided, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to invest in a setup to produce a live show, right? And that was my pivot for COVID. And it took me 2 months to learn how to do a produced live show. It took me 2 months. So it wasn't as simple as just hitting go live. That's social media and these platforms make it easier for you to just go live. But in order for you to produce a show, like, there's a lot of things happening. And it took me personally 2 months to learn how to do everything. And you guys might have noticed that earlier in March, I had a webinar series where I was talking about a variety of different things. Those webinars were no accident. Those webinars happened because I was practicing. Those webinars were me practicing, because the only way to practice live streaming is by live streaming. It's literally learning on the go. I mean, you get the basics down, like you can practice some of the basics, you can set everything up, but the reality is that when you are live and you have a lot of different elements happening, the only way for you to be able to master it is by actually doing it, right? So that was my pivot for everything in most of my business shutting down because of COVID. Figuring out how to broadcast, do a live show. And then it was practicing how to be engaging, engage with the live audience, still trying to hold their attention, but still trying to educate and still maneuver through all of the different systems that are in place, right? So let me know in the comments if you have been considering live streaming. Let me know in the comments if you have been considering live streaming. Let me know if it is for business, if it's for personal, if there's a particular platform that you guys were looking at live streaming, and you guys wanted some tips on or whatever. Let me know in the comments. But if you guys have been considering live streaming, let me know in the comments, all right? I'd love to see, you know, how many people are really thinking about taking this next step. Because listen to me, it's a big step. It is a big step. I'm a man where I don't even like to do pre-recorded video. It takes a lot for me to get in front of a camera. It takes a lot. I prefer to blog. I will blog every single day. And I've been consistent with blogging since 2016. I will show up on blogs every single day because I love blogging. I love being in my zone, right? However, video requires, you know, other people to get involved, especially if you're someone like me who doesn't know how to edit video, right? So I gotta go and grab Devon X Scott from his busy life. You know, shout outs to him. I gotta grab him, get him involved to shoot my videos and whatever. And it takes a lot to show up in front of that camera, right? So when you're thinking about live video, there's a huge difference. Pre-recorded, no real pressure. You know, you memorize your stuff. If you mess up, all right, no problem. Take 20. You can keep on taking and doing it over until you get it the way that you want to get it to, right? But live video is unforgiving. When you make your mistakes, and the best way is to just own it, right? Just, you know, keep it going. Most of the time people don't realize that you mess up. But if it does happen, you know, make a joke out of it on the fly, laugh about it, and keep it going, keep it light. And people watching lives are definitely more forgiving of, you know, little mistakes than if it was a pre-recorded video and it was like, bro, you couldn't just, you know, retake that? Like, what's going on, right? So yeah, like it takes a lot. And we have some people commenting. So Lorraine says, yes, she was considering it for business. Keisha said, yes, learning on your feet. Dominic said, I've been considering live streaming for our business, been pre-recording, but ready to make that jump to live. Listen, it's a jump. It is a big jump going from like blogging or podcasting to video because it's still pre-recorded. But you see, when you go from pre-recorded video to live, listen, that's a jump. I ain't gonna lie, it's a jump. It's a jump. Ashton Mills said, I would prefer to do pre-recorded video for business. Listen, pre-recorded video is great, right? Pre-recorded video is great. Dale says, business for live streaming. Yes. Natalie Orr says, live streaming for business. Wonderful. Rayard said, I was thinking about live streaming for teaching and technical auditing in the food industry. That's a very dope idea. Jean says, that's the beauty of live, bro. 100% real. Yes, it is. Thruston says currently live streaming for his business. Beautiful. What is the IG crew saying? IG crew. Kay says it's been on my mind as well as starting a YouTube channel, but not sure how to launch out doing a business though. All right, so look at that. We're gonna be diving into some of that tonight. All right. So yes, it's a very big jump. Right. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna tell you it is easy. If you are somebody who you already have to work your way up to doing pre-recorded video, live video is another step. But here's the beauty of live video, right? So number one, the social media algorithms love live video. So you actually get a boost to your audience, to your subscribed audience through live video because they're going to reward you for doing live video. So that's a huge thing right then and there, right? The next thing is that live video allows for two-way engagement, right? So this is why like Facebook started watch party so that you could do a pre-recorded video and hold a watch party and it's still kind of in a live format and you can engage in the comments, but it's still a pre-recorded video, right? And you got to type out everything to engage. Whereas when it's live, when it's a live video, I can see the comments, I can engage with you. There is more of a community feeling when you are doing live video, right? So it definitely helps build your community and build your presence. And if you start to learn how to do all the fancy stuff, well, that's just gonna take your stuff up all the way up. So this was just a quick little breakdown as to why I started the digital age, right? I wanted to make that pivot. COVID came, licked me up. I lost a whole lot of money. I lost deals doing workshops. I lost speaking gigs. Anything in person, out the window. Digital age was my way of figuring out on the fly how I could get the content, how I could engage with you, and how I could get everybody thinking about digital, but in a format that was engaging, it was dynamic, it wasn't a static video of me just sitting here talking. So, you know, we could have cut scenes, we could have slideshows, we had multiple guests on. I tried to throw a lot of different variations in every single episode so that it wasn't just sit down and watch a standard Zoom webinar. Even little things like these animations we're gonna talk about on the screen, right there. We're gonna talk about those things because all of those elements add to the look and feel of your show. And if my IG family is wondering what on earth elements are you talking about, that's on the actual live link in bio, hit bonus episode, and you guys can pick one of those platforms to watch it. All right. So as we finish this last 10 seconds, what we are going to do is we are going to cut to a quick commercial break. I'm going to take a sip of my orange juice because listen to me, I have not been feeling good all day today. At one point I was like, I don't even think I might make it to tonight. But you know what? I wanted to get it done. I wanted to talk to you guys. And I put it out there from early this morning, hoping I would feel better. Didn't really work out so well, but listen, you guys are rocking with me, so I'm rocking with you, all right? So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to thank the sponsors of the entire Digital Age season, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to be diving into, what's up next? What do we got up next? We're going to be diving into the breakdown of the Digital Age. That's what's coming up next, all right? So give me 60 seconds. We'll be right back.
Stay connected and entertained with broadband bundles designed for you. With Flow starter and advanced plans, you can enjoy faster speeds to stream more of what you love. Get free access to the best shows, series, and movies with HBO Go. And connectivity on the go with free Flow Wi-Fi. Packages start from as low as $295 and no contract required. Visit discoverflow.co to sign up today. Flow, keeping you connected.
Sharing your goals, helping you find your place in the world. Eastern gratitude, holding your hand, leading the way, here for your needs, making sure that you succeed. Eastern's lending a hand. Eastern's
All right, so we are back from thanking our sponsors, and you know what? And again, this is why I live video, because during that commercial break, I actually also took that time to engage with my IG live fam, and I was actually showing them the behind the scenes as to my setup, all right? But that was a bit of a sneak peek. Now we are going to jump right into the breakdown of live streaming, all right? So we have a couple of things to break down. First and foremost, should you live stream? Should you live stream? I think everybody can live stream. Should everyone live stream? Pick the best medium for you to show up confidently on that you can be consistent with. But I think everybody has a live streaming show in them, whether it's personally or business. I think everybody has a live show. And the trick is going to be figuring out your angle and what you want to do live and what can you do live, right? So if you are a baker, get some cameras, set them up, give different looks where you can switch between camera angles and show people that you guys are baking. You know, if you are a farmer, you can actually use mobile devices that help with producing a live stream, right? And you guys can show people what you guys do. So everybody has a show. It's really about figuring out the angle. For me, I knew it was online business. So every single episode, we had different elements to kind of highlight those different things, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my hardware, all right? So I'm going to take you guys on a tour on what is on my desk, and I'm going to break down everything that you guys are seeing here, right? Hi, Zwena. Zwena said she enjoyed the session, very informative, considering live streaming for business. Great. Listen, one of the best decisions you'll make. Dominic says, can you mix personal with business? Of course you can. You can definitely can. And that's what makes it entertaining, right? But if you're going to have a business show, try to keep it business, but you can sprinkle in personal elements and stories through, pictures, videos, whatever, if it adds value to your business lives. But if you want to live stream for personal reasons, turn that into something. That way, the people who are there for your business content don't get turned off or confused by what's all this personal stuff happening. And your people that are following you for personal reasons, maybe they don't care about your business, right? So just tread lightly when you are mixing it up. So what I'm going to do is let us start the behind the scenes tour of what is on the desk. What is the hardware that I am using to do all this live streaming? Are you guys ready? I know you're ready. All right, so we're going to set up. We are going to set up a new camera feed for you guys. All right. See, we're doing everything on the fly. Wonderful. So you guys are actually seeing me live from my iPad right now. All right. So you guys are seeing, my IG fam is seeing, we are live. See, watch. We are live on my iPad right now. All right. So let us take a tour of the desk. So first things first, we have the powerhouse. We have the I shouldn't even call it the powerhouse. We have the workhorse. We have a 2015 MacBook Pro. And this is what is at the heart of everything. All right. So the specs of this MacBook Pro are, it is running an Intel i7 processor with 16 gigs of RAM, a 256 gig hard drive, and I have the external hard drive right there in the corner, a terabyte over there. All right. We also have a USB hub deck because there's a few different connections that I got to show you guys. All right. Next up, for audio, I am using you guys gotta bear with me. I'm literally holding an iPad and a phone trying to show you guys my entire desk setup, right? So the microphone is a Audio Technica ATR 2100X, right? Pop filter on. It's on a boom arm, right? So I can kind of move it around on the desk. Moving over to the camera. Oops. Right. The camera, this is the Sony A6100. All right, so this one just came out the end of last year. And I'm just using the kit lens on it. It's been working great for me. And, next season, or maybe even just future lives, I'm looking at upgrading that glass. So my videographers, I'm looking at that Sigma 16, and you guys could let me know on some other really good lenses. All right. Then we have this bad boy. Don't mind all the dust. Ooh, it's been a long season, baby. All right. So we got the Stream Deck. Now the Stream Deck does some amazing things. So I actually program my entire show inside my Stream Deck. That way it is fully, it's programmed onto the Stream Deck as a touch of a button, right? So whenever I need to do something, I can just press one button and everything will show up in the live stream. So let me give you guys an example, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the flow ad, right? And watch what happens on the live. All right? Give me 1 second. Let me just angle it for you guys. So you guys are seeing the window, right? I'm going to press the flow ad button and watch this.
Stay connected and entertained with broadband bundles designed for you. With Flow starter and advanced plans, you can enjoy faster speeds to stream more of what you love.
With just a push of a button, I can trigger any of my digital assets for the show. So I would program all of my videos. When I have different guests on, I usually have different looks inside there, like different scenes set up. So one scene might be like a sponsored theme where you're gonna see their names and the sponsors. I could switch different camera angles. So I would program all of that onto the Stream Deck. And that way I'm not fumbling around with any software. So I have to prep all of this before the actual show starts, so that when I'm live, all I gotta do is press a button to switch between everything. All right? All right, moving on. Get your digital age face mask. Get your face mask and stay COVID-free, people. Next up, we have the Behringer Euphoria UM2, and that is the audio interface that connects to my Audio Technica 2100X microphone, and that's what gives it that clean sound that because it's an XLR input. So that is where the source of all that clean audio comes from. And then I'm usually either using these Audio Technica M50HX wireless headsets to listen to my sound, or one second. Hold on. Oh, you're viewing from the Sony. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. There we go. All right. You guys are back in the game. You guys are back in the game. So keep in mind, guys, there's a slight delay. There's like a 5-second delay from what I see in the comments and what is happening live. So I just had to fix back the camera for these guys, right? So let me run that back right quick. So this is the Euphoria UM2 Behringer. That is the audio interface. That is what the microphone goes into for the XLR capabilities, and that is where that clean audio comes from, right? So this microphone goes into the Behringer Euphoria UM2 audio interface. All right? Then we have, like I was showing you, the Audio Technica M50HX. So this is where I usually listen to the sound from. Or when I want to get a little fancy, hold on. When I want to get a little fancy, I use my Redmi Dots, right? And these plug right into my ear, and that will allow me to hear everything going on. So I use any one of these two to listen to the live show. All right. Next up, one of the most important parts is what's in your cup. You know, sometimes you gotta put a little confidence booster in that cup to do these live streams. You know, so you always gotta have that near. The monitor I'm using, this is I can't remember the model name, but it's from LG. It is a 32-inch 4K monitor. So I switch between these two screens, the big 32-inch and the MacBook screen. Switch between both, right? Switch between both to ensure everything is, good to go. Now, the software I'm using is called Ecamm Live. All right. So Ecamm Live, you guys are seeing how my setup is. There is actually a live demo mode like on the Ecamm Live, so I can put the iPad down, but kind of lazy right now to fiddle around. So we're just gonna roll with it, people. We're rolling with it tonight. So Ecamm Live. So this is how I produce the entire show. So what you're seeing on the left-hand side, you see those scenes? All of those scenes are different videos, pictures, slides, all those different assets are what get programmed into the Stream Deck. So whenever I press a button on the Stream Deck, it will trigger one of those scenes, and that is what switches between everything for me. All right? Then we have the overlays. So you guys can see that, like if I have any text, pictures, comments, all of that shows up in the overlays and a whole lot more. Then we got microphone check. Check, check, check. You guys hear me? Yes, you are. We got the sound levels right there. We got the sound effects. And then we have the comment section, right? So that comment section, as you guys can see, that is pulling in from all of the different platforms we are live on. So we are live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Periscope. So every single comment is going to get pulled in from there, and it's going to show up in my comments. And then I can do things like this. All right? So anybody tuning in, I can post their comment. Right? I can post their comment right then and there. John Ruman says, I love Ecamm Live. John, you know good thing. You know good thing. All right, so yeah. Janelle, how you doing tonight? Thanks for tuning in. All right, so that is the breakdown of the hardware, right? So we got the MacBook Pro, right? We got the Sony a6100 as the main camera. We have the Audio Technica 2100X for the microphone going into the Behringer UM2 audio interface. All right. And then we got the big screen, the LG 32-inch. And what else for hardware? Then we got the headphones. I got the Audio Technica M50H, the Bluetooth. And I also got the Xiaomi Redmi Dots. They're really cheap. They're like $15 on Amazon. And they just plop right in the air. Love them. That's what we have. Oh, I forgot one of the most important things. Let's switch back. One of the most important things. So you cannot use, let me switch you guys around. Hold on. So you guys cannot actually use, see, look at that. Now I split the screen. Hold on. So you guys cannot use a DSLR straight into the computer. What happens is you need something to convert the signal from the DSLR to go into the computer to recognize it as a camera. Now, if you have a Canon just released this, right? Canon created a bridge during COVID so that people could use their Canon cameras with the Sony Canon bridge software, and it will recognize the Canon DSLRs as a applicable feed, right? As a webcam feed. For things like Sony, Panasonic, any of those other brands, you need this. You need what is called, oh my God, what is this? What is the technical term for this again? So this is the cam link, right? And the cam link converts the feed from your camera into the computer. Now, if you did not have that, what would happen is I could not connect the computer into I could not connect the DSLR into the camera, all right? Capture card. Thank you, Thrustin. The term, listen, I'm sick today, and the term just slipped my whole entire head. Capture card. So you need the capture card in order for your DSLR, to recognize in order for your computer to recognize your DSLR as a applicable camera feed, right? So it's DSLR goes into the capture card, your capture card goes into the computer, and that capture card converts the signal coming from your DSLR into your computer. Another really important thing is having a dummy battery. So what a dummy battery does is you take out the regular batteries that go into the cameras, and the dummy battery goes into the battery slot and it plugs into the wall. So that way you are not recording and you're not running out of battery power. Now, one of the big things that I know people worry about that they have heard about is cameras overheating, because when you are shooting in 4K on a regular battery and you're recording, cameras can overheat, right? But because you are not recording and you're using a dummy battery, because you're not recording, it's not actually gonna overheat. You're not conducting really any heat. So you can live stream for hours on end without without your DSLR shutting off or overheating. So dummy battery is going to be very key for this entire setup as well, so you're not shutting out. So let me take a look at some of the comments so far, right? So Keisha says she may have missed it, but will the hardware and software be listed in the description later? Maybe even links to purchase some of them. As a matter of fact, Keisha, yes, there is a blog that I did some time ago when I was doing everything, and I listed everything out. So I'm going to place that in the chat for you guys, right? There you go. It's in the chat, right? Instagram fam, I'll place the link to the list of tools and software that I'm using. I'll place that link in my link in bio after the show, so you guys can always check back in and you guys can go check it out. All right. So Thrustin asks, why not apps like OBS and Streamlabs? For Mac, Ecamm Live is like a hand and glove fit. Extremely easy to use, very powerful. And I just fell in love with the interface. So OBS is really good. Streamlabs is not as powerful as OBS or vMix or Ecamm Live. I think those three apps are like three of the top apps for producing live shows. So yeah, check that out. Actually, I'm thinking StreamYard. Streamlabs is very good. I was thinking about StreamYard. Forgive me. But yes, Streamlabs is good. OBS is really good, very powerful. vMix and Ecamm Live, those applications are what you can use to produce your live streams, all right? So you can kind of get a similar software setup as to what I'm using, all right? Daphne says, remind me of OBS. Yes. John says, what about the arm for the microphone? Any recommendations for that? John, I'm using a basic blue coil. The brand is Blue Coil boom arm. If you can get a boom arm, the boom arm is what, allows this entire microphone to move around, in case you guys are wondering. Yeah, I'm using the standard Blue Coil is the brand, boom arm, but I have it on a shock mount. So let me show you guys this. You guys can already see that. So here is the shock mount. Whoops. This is the shock mount, right? So what happens is any vibrations, because I'm known to clap, I'm known to hit my desk, I'm known to be very animated when I'm talking on video. So this will absorb any sort of shakes so it doesn't pick up on the microphone, right? And this shock mount attaches to the boom arm. The boom arm attaches to the back of my desk, and that is how I'm able to swing this all around and position it how I need to. All right? All right, set you guys back down. Next up, we got Lynn says we need links to some of the more recent hardware. check that. Put it in the comments. Thruston said Sony released a webcam app now. Yes, you are right. I have not checked that out as yet. So I did see it. I didn't know it officially came out as yet, but I did know that they were working on it. So that would be great. Ashton asked, do you need a backup generator? Listen, if you are living in an area where power goes out, a generator would be great. That only happened to me one time, but not for the digital age. I was actually streaming for something else and power went out, and yeah, that was a wrap. So if you have a generator that you could use, great. But you know, once you live in an area where you're not going to get any sort of real power issues, then you should be good to go. So IG fam, basically what we're doing today is we're doing a little behind the scenes tour of the digital age, the setup from the hardware to the software. And if you guys want to watch the full produced show, you guys can hit the link in bio, hit the bonus episode and watch it from any one of those episodes. All right. Or you can stick here. And again, this is just behind the scenes. You guys can jump in and out. All right. Nice. So next up, we have Dominic. Dominic says that blog was the truth. Yes. Link to that blog in the description or in the comment section, because that is where I showed everybody what I was using, hardware, software, and links, so you guys can go check those things out. Jean asks, have you thought about using your Osmos DJI to film behind the scenes to create micro content? Let me show you what he's talking about. He is referring to this bad boy. All right? So Osmo 3 Mobile. Basically, I would slap my phone in here and I would go around. This is a stabilizer, right? Essentially, it's a stabilizer. So when I'm running around and I'm shooting videos, it's not picking up any sort of jitters on it. It's watchable video. So the question is, have I thought about doing it to make micro content? Yes, I have thought about it. That is why I bought it. The problem is that I'm rarely in the mood to do video. Like I'm consistently blogging. So I'm always blogging. I can always do micro content with like slideshows and carousel pictures. I could always be consistent and do micro content like that. But at some point, Jean, I will bust this bad boy out. Right? I bought it for that purpose. I will bust this bad boy out. And when I start to do my micro content with my phone and I put this on the tripod, I'll be sure to shout you out. All right, so we got Narissa. Hey, equipment. Hey, Karen, thanks for the equipment list. Listen, Narissa, you are very welcome. Keisha asks, what do you think about OBS? I have been trying it out, but the audio would sometimes disappear at the weirdest times. To be 100% honest, I have not tried OBS. Just doing my research, and because I have a Mac, pretty much every Mac user that was using vMix, OBS, Streamlabs, everybody, for the most part, had preferred Ecamm Live. And when I tried Ecamm Live and I learned it, there was just no reason to test anything else out. At some point, I might, but I've gotten so accustomed to my setup with Ecamm Live that right now, I'm good, but I may check it out just for checking out sake. So Thruston asks, what is the lighting setup and soundproofing. You know what, Dustin? You see the thing with Dustin is Dustin does photography, so he knows the questions to ask. Look, I forgot about the lights and the soundproofing. So we are going to get back on the iPad, and I'm going to show you guys what he is referring to, and I'm going to take you guys for a little tour. Just 1 second, folks. All right. And let us turn you guys around. All right. So, what is on the wall? This is foam padding, right? And what that does is it kills the echo in the room. So this room is a pretty big empty room, and it's hardwood floors, so sound bounces like crazy on this room. And these foam pads you stick up at multiple places around the room, and that's designed to kill the echo in the room. All right. And in terms of the lighting, let me see if I can bring you guys to show you guys the lighting. 1 second. See, I'm trying to give you guys a full behind the scenes tour so you guys can see what is happening. Will this stretch? All right. So we got the newer NL 480s. All right. So these are LED panels. These is what is beaming on me during the show. That's what's beaming on me during the show to keep me well lit so you guys can actually see me. All right? All right. Perfect. Switch back to cameras. Nice. All right. So let's get into the software. We've covered everything from the hardware perspective. Let us talk software. So, like I told you before, I'm using Ecamm Live to produce the entire show. All right. The next thing that I use, and I can actually do, hold on, bear with me, folks. Bear with me. All right. So, in terms of software, so I'm using Restream, and Restream is how I'm able to broadcast on multiple platforms at the exact same time, right? So as you guys can see, we're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. We're also live on LinkedIn. We're live on Periscope, and we're live on Facebook. Restream takes the signal from Ecamm Live and it puts the signal onto all of those different platforms. So again, that is Restream Live, and Restream Live connects to Ecamm Live, and it takes the produced signal from Ecamm Live and it broadcasts it on multiple platforms. So the show was broadcasted on my Facebook, Eastern Credit Union's Facebook and YouTube page, my YouTube page, LinkedIn, Periscope, my personal Facebook page, and also Flow's Facebook pages. All right. So that's the multicast platform I'm using. And you guys have been seeing all of those little animated graphics that I've been using. That is this. That is Singular Live. All right. Singular Live. So what that does is I have an entire playlist that I build out at the beginning or before every single episode. So I can do things like this. I can set up my timers. I can set up my coming next. All of those things that you guys see animated, all those animated graphics, all of those things. So you see, I just press one button. Look at this. Press one button and it pops up. All right? Press it again, it's gone. So I program all of my different animations and scenes that I need before every single show. That way, when I'm doing the show, all I need to do is either press the buttons on my Stream Deck to get to the different camera scenes or different videos or pictures I want to show. But then all of the animations are a press and stop button so that they all just do their thing in the live broadcast. So here's the trick. Here's the trick to all of that. You got to do all of that live. Let me just set this phone back down. The trick to everything is doing it all live. So you guys can see let me see if there's where is it? You know what? I won't mess around because there's a demo mode for you guys to actually see my desktop, right? Because then the next thing is I manage all of the comments, right? So you know what? This is what I'll do. Just to give you guys full transparency so you guys can understand why it took me so long to learn. Just switch that around 1 second. All right. Whoops. All right. So you have all of the comments, right? Then you have Singular Live going. And then you have Stream Deck. And then what I would also do, let me bring this up so you guys get the full picture. Right? I also have a notepad that I have open, and that is how you guys see all of my notes for all of the shows. All right? So if we scroll down, bear with me, folks, bear with me. I'm trying to hold two devices with one hand and still do all of this. Bear with me. Right, so I have all of my notes, right? So during a live, I'm switching between doing all of the animations. I'm switching between all of the assets I have programmed into my Stream Deck. And then I have to manage all of the comments, still read my notes, and still actually engage. And still engage with you guys while all of that is happening. So as you guys can see, we are not simply just going live. We are not simply just pressing a button and going live. So when I came out and said, listen, we were doing a produced web show, this was everything I needed to do everything that you have seen throughout the last 3 months with the digital age, right? Elena says she's going over to IG to see and LinkedIn to see what they're seeing. Excellent content as usual. Thank you very much. Will we expect to see you on Twitch? Maybe, hopefully. Keisha says, got it. Dom, I triggered some of those animations. I hope you enjoyed them. Thruston says you basically got to be a show host, a producer, broadcaster all at the same time. That's really what happened. You are the the host, the producer, the broadcaster all at the same time and live. Right? All of that live. So I used to get, like, in the first 2 episodes, people used to message me and be like, hey, is Flo's contribution to the digital age, is it that they have somebody in the room with you producing the show? And I just laughed and I'm like, wow. I'm like, no, this is all me doing everything on my own, right? And that's why it took me 2 months to learn how to do everything. And I had to practice. So like I said, early in those early months in March, I was doing a live web show like every single day to practice, because I would read all day and then I would learn. I practice as much as I can. I practice as much as I can offline, But the trick is you got to do it live, right? And I wish my painting of Mike Tyson came in time, but I had, hold on one second, folks. My IG people just got kicked out. So I'm just going to bring them back in. Behind the scenes, digital. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Behind the scenes, digital age. Behind the scenes, bear with me. You guys are seeing all of this. Listen, all of it is happening right in front of your eyes, right? So that the 1 hour thing just cut off on IG. So I just want to bring them back in. Yeah, so Lorraine, props you for navigating through it all. Yeah, it's a lot. You need a production manager. So it's like 8 hands needed to get through. Pressure. Listen, the reason I'm showing you all of this, right? The reason I'm showing you guys all of this is because it took me 2 months to learn. So it wasn't, you guys know me as Mr. Droid, you guys know me as a tech blogger, you guys know me as the online business guy that's talking tech and helping you guys build those assets online. But it took time to learn. I didn't wake up and say, yeah, I'm a boss, let's just roll with it. No, I had to prep. And you know what? Another thing that I used to do to prep was, and this was probably up until maybe like the 7th or 8th episode, and I kind of got the hand of it. But shout outs to Kevin Valley from Caribbean Power Lunch. Yo, we had a session every single week before a show, and we sat down, we went over the topics. Kevin kind of went over all of the content that I prepared, taught me how to properly host, kind of how to ask my questions, and he gave me a lot of the basics. And the most important thing Kevin did for me was he just calmed my nerves, because again, I'm somebody where I'm not in the mood to do video, let alone live video. So my mind was racing at 1,000,000 times a minute, and he just kind of settled me down, helped me get into a flow. And once I got into that flow of what to expect, when I reached episode like 7 or 8, I was good. And I didn't have to do the episodes weekly because I already have that flow. I know what I had to do was just to go out and do it. But it took time to learn the tools, play around with the tools, and then you still have to be able to hold that crowd while doing everything, right? So let's see what else. Who else we got in the comments? So Denise Ann says, yes, from first episode, I was like, wow, this is so professional. Thank you very much. Dope. Keneal Lewis, hey, Jamaica's in the building. Love it. Keisha says the practice is so necessary. I was trying something similar, but I realized now I need to do a lot more prep. Doing live is a job by itself. Yes, the heck it is. Jason Joseph asks, what internet connection, megabits per second, do you have to stream multiple platforms simultaneously? Great question. So the beauty of using software like Restream or Switcher is you only need to have dedicate about 10 megabits to whatever platform you're streaming to. So what I mean is, if you're streaming to, at bare minimum, you should be doing a live stream with no less than 15 megabits per second, right? Live streaming should not be done below 15 megabits per second because a lot can happen and you guys can buffer, right? If you are going to stream to multiple platforms, you want to add a 10 megabits per platform. So if you're going on Facebook, 10, just keep adding your speeds. So I actually have 100 megabits per second upload speed. And again, the download isn't the most important factor. Your upload speed needs to be high, right? So if you're streaming to 2 platforms, you need a minimum of 30. If you're streaming to 4 platforms, minimum of 40. And it goes up from there, right? But don't be live streaming below 15 megabits per second. As you say that, the next thing is let me see if I can show you guys that. Let me see if I can show you. I might not be able to. Ah, yes, I can. All right, let me show you guys this. Right? This is an effort to, like I said, keep you guys in the loop and show you guys every single aspect so you guys understand what happens or what goes on with the professional live streams. So check this out. I am streaming in 1080p. Now, up until episode 9, I was actually streaming in 2K resolution, right? But the minute I got LinkedIn Live, LinkedIn caps their stream resolution at 1080p. So I downscaled back to 1080p to be able to stream onto LinkedIn. So all of my streams now are in 1080p, but you can stream it up to 4K. If your people have 4K monitors and you have the bandwidth, if you have the internet speed to do it, hey, go forth. But listen to me, folks. Doing all of that means you need a really, really fast internet connection. You need a really fast internet connection, but then your computer needs to be top of the line. And I'll run my specs back from my computer again because one of the most important parts of the equation is your system, right? So my Mac 2015 model, so again, not the latest, but it's got an i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. And listen to me, when my sessions are done, like you hear my fans in the computer, you hear them going, they're always going. Because when I'm bringing in the guests, all of the guests have to come into the program via Skype. So if you guys ever notice, if you look at TV shows, whenever they're bringing in remote guests, everybody is coming in through Skype, right? Skype just secure, best stream for integrations for all of these different platforms. That's why all of them use it, right? When Skype gets added into this mix, the fans start to whiz. They just blow. They blow, right? And the computer, the software, everything eats up so much power that the charger for the computer is not fast enough to keep the computer at 100% because all of this stuff is battery hungry. So by the time I'm done live, I'm down to like 20%. Even right now, with just me and no Skype, I'm at 65% because all of the software, everything taxes the computer and it just eats up a lot of power trying to do everything, right? So just taking in a couple more comments because again, I want to kind of go through it and I want to cut to the Q&A section so you guys can drop everything in. All right, so yeah, so Dwight says, Keron Rose, you're the local Tyler Perry, producer, director, presenter, all in one. To do all that live is incredible. Listen, thank you very much. Practice. That's what it really comes to. Practice and understanding the technology. Understanding all of the systems that you need and how they work and how you can work it into your flow is the most important thing for me because I used to, from the first 2 or 3 episodes, it used to take me 4 hours to prep everything to get it right, going over everything and making sure everything was correct. And then now takes me 45 minutes to program everything and get everything set up for a live, right? So it's a lot, but the technology and the systems and software are there to help you and to take up a lot of that pressure off of your back so you don't have to go through it, all right? Next up, Lorraine says, thanks for keeping this real. Success takes work. Thank you very much. Takes a lot of work. You're damn right. Everything worthwhile takes time. Yes, Celise. Yeah, listen, shout out to Celise. Celise has been in every single live since we started, right? She's been to my workshop. She's been to every single live. Shout outs to Celise. Jean said, glad you're showing behind the scenes. People don't understand that handling a live stream, vlog, podcast ain't no joke. Listen, it's not. It definitely is not. And you know what? As you make that point, let's talk about, how the marketing happens. So when I'm marketing for every single live episode, I'm not just creating a graphic for social media and putting it out there. What I actually do is, and I believe I can show you guys, not believe, I know I can show you guys. This is what I do. So Digital Age, I built Digital Age. I built it its own website. And the reason I built Digital Age, I wanted Digital Age to have its own website versus being on my website, is because I am building digital assets underneath the Keron Rose brand. So if I give Digital Age its own platform and its own life, that is a platform I can use to leverage. If I build, well, I did, when I built Digipreneur has its own website, its own academy, because it's its own asset on its own, right? Droid Island is its own asset underneath the Keron Rose brand. So my personal brand, Keron Rose, is the parent company. Digital Age, Digipreneur, Droid Island are underneath my parent company of Keron Rose. So when people, and I'm breaking that down like that so people can understand the difference between putting yourself, the personal brand, out in front and letting that lead versus being in the background. If I never showed my face and I launched Digipreneur Academy, Digital Age, Droid Island, those are three different things. If I never put my face out there, people would think that they were all different. They were all different things on its own, right? So everything was built as its own asset. So what I do is this for Digital Age. And now let me just grab the phone so IG people can see. Digital Age has its own website, right? And every single time I am going to do a episode, this is what I'll do. Let me grab the one for this episode, Livestream Like a Pro, right? So this, Terry Carell, I see you in the building. I see you, girl. I see you. We're doing a live behind the scenes, showing everybody. And you know what's funny? Now that Terry Carell is here, Terry Carell can vouch because she's seen a lot of the behind the scenes when it was happening, real time, right? So she could vouch for everything that kind of went into the building this entire thing. So I would build out this entire website or this entire page. So you guys are seeing it right here in all right, so check this out. So this is just gonna load the web page. So what I do is I build out a web page for the episode. Every single episode, I build out its own page, right? Put in all the information that we're going to talk about, list all of the links so people can tune in, and then they can subscribe. Let me show you guys another one. Let me show you guys another one. All right, so this one is BuzzPay and e-commerce. Let this load up. All right. So again, every single page is built to promote every single show. And then after every single show, what I do is I embed the YouTube video onto the page itself. So that way, when people are Googling Digital Age or episodes or guests or topics, the Digital Age Show's website can be found via Google. And I'm taking advantage of the SEO from things like Google and Bing. And then because YouTube is also a search engine, people can also find those videos on YouTube. So I'm getting the best of both worlds when I embed all of the episodes onto its own webpage, so I could take advantage of being found via the search engines, but also being found via on YouTube. And that's all the information that you guys can see. So like I said, I build out every single thing before the episodes to help market, push, but then also capture data. So a pop-up usually comes up here, and then people can also subscribe to the episodes right at the bottom as well. So you're capturing all of that data into your email list. That way, people can also see people can also subscribe, and you capture their data so you can keep them up to date with what's happening, and you guys can market to them in future episodes, all right? All right, so let me just jump back into the comments real quick. Christian Badassi asks, why don't you use OBS? Preference, or it doesn't serve your purpose? To be honest, preference. Ecamm Live, I have a Mac. Ecamm Live is powerful as hell and great. It's preference at this point. Don't need OBS or vMix, but those are also really other good platforms. I may check it out in the future, but again, because I'm versed in Ecamm Live and it does everything I need for my purpose, there's just no real reason to switch over to any of the other platforms. Sasha asks, people like me thought it was FB like a higher quality computer and cameras. We're so listen, it's a lot that goes behind the scenes. Terry says, I was there when you decided to do this. When it was a thought, straight to execution. You are a boss. Thank you very much. And again, it was, she was there from when I decided, hey, I'm going to do this, to, hey, it's actually happening, to, hey, we just wrapped up 11 weeks and we've closed out. Yes. All right. Listen, Terry, you're a boss. I'm not even underachiever. You are a boss. You do far more than I do, right? Christian says, as somebody that does live streams for clients, I prefer OBS. It gives me more control. Dope. OBS is great. Nothing wrong with OBS. Some of the best use OBS. Some of the best use vMix. When you add in things like your ATM Pro and you have multiple camera angles, listen, there's a lot of things that you can do. But when it comes down to picking your platform, it's really going to be about what you can do, what all these different platforms allow you to do and be consistent with and still perform at a high level while doing all of these things. One of the things I was talking about earlier, Christian, is, so for me, I'm not just behind the scenes, right? If you're doing it for a client, you're behind the scenes, you're behind it producing it for people. I need something where I'm on camera, I'm doing graphic animations with Singular Live, I still got to produce the show in Ecamm Live along with Stream Deck, I'm still hosting, I still have to ask all of my questions, so I have a notepad with all of my questions, I still got to engage with the audience, put the comments into the window for everybody to see, and still engage and be entertaining. So finding software that allows you to just be great and do what you got to do is most important, all right? Narissa asks, what data capture software do you use? Ecamm Live records all of the footage. So if I'm streaming in 1080p, Ecamm Live is recording everything to my hard drive in 1080p, right? Jamal Lewis, Eastern Credit Union in the building. What's going on? Vibes, I love it. So I am going to take a quick break, and then I'm gonna drink some juice, talk to the IG fam, and when we come back, I'm gonna be answering the rest of your questions. We're gonna go into the rest of the questions for the Q&A. So any questions you guys have, start to drop them in. We're just doing questions at this point in time, right? So drop your questions in. Let us queue up the final ad from our sponsors, and we'll get right back to you guys, right?
Stay connected and entertained with broadband bundles designed for you. With Flow, Starter and Advanced plans, you can enjoy faster speeds to stream more of what you love. Get free access to the best shows, series and movies with HBO Go, and connectivity on the go with free Flow Wi-Fi. Packages start from as low as $295 and no contract required. Visit discoverflow.co to sign up today. Flow, keeping you connected.
Keron, keeping you connected.
'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you connected. 'Keron, keeping you c
sharing your goals, helping you find your place in the world. Eastern gratitude, God's holding your hand, leading the way, here for your needs, making sure that you succeed. Eastern's lending a hand, Eastern together, we're leading the way. Eastern Credit Union, leading the way.
And thank you guys for staying tuned. Listen, if you are still here tuned in, I need you guys to drop some fireworks, drop some 100s. Let me know if you guys are enjoying the live behind the scenes of live streaming like a pro with me, Keron Rose. Drop those fireworks in the comments. Let me know that you guys are here. Let me know that you guys are still with me and you guys are enjoying the content, right? And if you're tuning in from IG, oh God, drop some hearts now. Drop some hearts. Show me a little love. Let me know what you guys are in here, man. Let me know. So, just to show you guys, right? We are now going into the Q&A time, right? So this is what we'd do. This is what would happen. All right, we're switching back over. Let me bring back up Singular Live. All right, so I want to now show you guys how I would do the animations, all right? So I'd be talking to you guys, and while I'm talking to you guys, people are commenting. I would come back into Singular Live for my animations and queue it up, all right? And as you guys can see, everything is queued up, right? So I would have put coming up is the Q&A. So I'm going to press play and watch what happens when I press play. It's going to show up in Ecamm. I press play. There we go. Comes up right at the bottom. Coming up, next Q&A. I would press stop and that goes away. And then I want the timer that you guys see, right? So I queue that up, and then when I'm ready, I press play. There you go. There's the timer. And then to start the clock, I come back down here, press play, and bam, there you guys go. The clock is ticking. And that is how the animations work. So it's a software, it's a platform called Singular Live that integrates with Ecamm Live, right? And Ecamm Live pulls in all of the animations from that software into the live feed. So listen, it's a whole lot that happens. So that's why I wanted to show you guys the behind the scenes. So we are on to the Q&A session. And I know I've been answering questions throughout the broadcast, but drop your questions in now. Any questions you guys have, I've showed you guys the software, I've showed you guys the hardware, I've showed you guys the lighting kit, I've showed you guys the sound foam. Any sort of questions you guys have, now is the time to drop those questions in. And IG fam, if you guys want to see what everybody else is seeing, hit the link in bio, click on the bonus episode, pick one of the feeds that you guys want to watch from, and you guys can tune into the main broadcast. The IG Live is just to show you guys the behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Showing you guys, you know, my desk and how everything works. All right? So, if you love the show, if you love what's going on so far, again, let me know. Drop your questions in, and let's get them questions going. So, first question is from Ashton Mills. Ashton says, "Do you do editing on your live feed for playback? If so, what editing software do you use?" So, Ashton, I don't actually, because I'm producing so much live, and I've structured everything in a way so that I don't have to go back and edit. I don't edit my lives. However, what I do use is I use Final Cut Pro, and Final Cut Pro is what I use to chop down all of the clips and then repackage it as micro content onto social media, wherever I'm going. So I do use Final Cut Pro to do that. But in terms of do I edit my lives? No, it's live. It goes to every single platform. And I've done it so that the show is produced from start to finish. So it's a complete episode live. right? So that is why I've invested in all the software and tools to get it to this point because, listen, I don't want to go back and edit, man. I hate it. Oh, man. Digital Jamaica, what's going on? Jerian, I got to talk to you, Jerian. Miss Biskop Toya, what's going on? Tamika, how you doing? All right, next question is, what is the next gear you would purchase to add to your arsenal? The next gear. The next gear is going to be two things. One, I want to upgrade because right now I'm using the kit lens on the A6100. So I want to upgrade to a Sigma 16 millimeter. I want to get some good glass, some respectable glass. So that way when my photographer friends and videographer friends come over, they're not laughing at me for using a kit lens, you know. So I want to upgrade the glass and get some even cleaner quality on the live streaming. And the next thing I'm looking at is I want to get another camera. So I may grab either a Sony a6600 or maybe even a full frame because I want to get two angles. And when I'm gonna launch a podcast, so that's no secret. Digipreneur FM is going to happen. However, when I do Digipreneur FM, I'm still contemplating if it's going to be audio only or if it's going to be video. However, regardless of such, I want to have multiple angles when I'm doing shows now. So if it's going to be, if for season 2 Digital Age episode, if I'm doing it here again, if I'm doing it at home, wink, wink, if I'm doing it at home, I want to have multiple cameras, so I'm going to invest in that. And when I do the podcast, I'm still contemplating if it's going to be audio only or video. But if it's video, I definitely want to have 2 camera angles when I do Digipreneur FM and change up the entire settings, right? All right, so that's a little sneak peek. Terry Curl says, Lord, listen, you missed it. I gave you a big shout up and you missed it. I had a point in this segment where I said, doing all of this, say I had to invest because me not skimp on me excellence. That is Terry Carell. That is her slogan. Me not skimp on me excellence. I love it. So Ashton says 100. Denise says fire. Nicole says the fireworks. Chow Nation's in the building. Lisa Becker says, good evening. Just saw that you're on. Good night, Lisa. How you doing? Adafi says, the confidence juice looking good. Listen, Adafi, you can't make me out live. Leave me in my confidence juice. Jean says 100. Denise says, so many turning wheels. Anthony Rose, yes, sir. Well done. Great info. Listen, that's my dad tuning in. Where's my mom? I need to go and call my mom back in Canada and be like, yo, you couldn't tune in for the last episode? My pops is tuned in though, so that's totally dope, right? Well, godfather. Thrustin says, is it possible to repackage live content into a different form such as IG stories or podcasts? Great question. So it is 100% possible to repackage live content. So what I do is, because Ecamm records the feed into a 1080p file, right? So it's broadcasting out, but it's also recording to the hard drive. I just jump in Final Cut Pro and I chop those clips up, I size them to whatever platform I'm looking to add them into, and then I put my graphics in. I use Canva to do all my graphics that I need to, and then I will put them out depending on whatever size that they need to be put on for the appropriate social media platform. So yes, so the content is definitely repurposed for other platforms, and I'll make an announcement at the end of this as to where this is going to be repackaged and put outside of social media. All right, remind me to tell everybody where this is going afterwards. All right, cool. Nice. See? Thorsten's making fun of me. Kit lens, ew. Denise says that patois yet. Listen, I need to come to Jamaica. I need to brush up on my patois. Listen, I just need to come to Jamaica, all right? COVID needs to hurry up and done. All All right. Terry, he can repackage live content into everything, even transcribe into a blog. Yes, you can transcribe it to everything, right? Listen, once you have the footage, you can do whatever you want with the footage after the fact, right? So, whatever questions you guys have, drop your questions in the live. I'm taking all your questions. I'm answering everything. Let's check in. Let's see if anyone has some questions for me on Instagram. Instagram, folks, if you have questions, drop those questions. We are going to be tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen of this live, let it be known that Keron is the man for your smartphone needs. Loving this 1+7 I got from this week. Big up anything he's doing. Listen here, I love it. Let me tell you how my dad's tuned in on Facebook and my uncle's tuned in on Instagram. It's so funny. Well, I'm going, Uncle V. What's the name of the software? So Tamika, the software that I use, there's a variety of software, all right? So if the main software I'm using is Ecamm Live, that is what is producing the entire show. I then use Singular Live for all of my animation graphic needs, and I use Restream to simulcast. So it takes the feed from Ecamm Live and it puts it across all the different platforms that we are live on. All right. Any questions you guys have? We have a couple more minutes before we wrap up this little bonus episode and this behind the scenes. So yeah, any questions that you guys have? I have some questions coming in from social media. So let me drop that now. Let me push the play button and bam, there's that question, right? So this question comes in. When should I transition from using a standard webcam to DSLR? When should I transition from using a standard webcam to DSLR? So that's a very good question. And it's one question that you have to think about. Where is your brand or business at the time you are ready to live stream? Because that's going to dictate whether or not you make the investment. If I was just starting out, I would not be even thinking about a DSLR and going a professional setup. I would just use my phone, my laptop webcam. I might get like a cheap webcam because any webcam is a step above your webcam that comes built into your computer. But I would start with that. I wouldn't even be thinking about a DSLR setup or professional setup when starting, right? If your business is now starting, I would not be thinking about going the route of professional video. However, if you have the money, right? Like if you have the money and even though your business is just starting out and you can make the investment, that's just going to help skyrocket your credibility and your brand equity because you're coming out the gate looking good, right? But it's not necessary. So for me, I knew that where my brand is at, I could invest the money because I'm at the point now where I could go to sponsors because I have a track record and say, hey, this is what I've done so far. This is what I would like to do. And this is how it fits into your overall marketing and plans and your objectives as a company. Would you like to come in on this venture? And then we negotiate costs. And then I pretty much made back all of my money that I invested on hardware and software for everything. All right. And season 1 was really just a pilot because now that I did it and I did it at a high level, I can now go to even bigger sponsors or go to other companies, whatever, and turn this into something bigger, which I'll discuss after. Next question. So live audience, keep dropping your questions. I'm just taking some social media questions while your live questions come in. So live audience, if you're in Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you're watching from, drop your comments and I will get to it, right? The next question comes in and it is, can you use your smartphone as a camera? I'm guessing as a live streaming camera. Yes, you can. So there are different applications like OBS vMix will allow you to use your smartphone as a camera. There is an app you have to download. You're going to have to Google it and check out. For Ecamm Live, because I use Ecamm, for Ecamm Live, I can use my smartphone as an additional camera source, and I can switch between. And the beautiful thing with the smartphones is that it's going to be wireless, right? So with my iPad, I actually have this plugged in, right? But with a smartphone or an iPhone, it's going to be like a wireless feed. So if I'm using Ecamm Live and I want to use a smartphone as a third-party source, I can do it. The only thing is, because Ecamm is Mac only, I can only use an iPhone as an additional camera. So just like how I can switch between my iPad, right? And look at this, right? I can do this. Like I can open up my iPad. My iPad is connected directly to the computer, right? It's connected directly to the computer. So I can do all these things. I could, switch between cameras. I can show you guys all the behind the scenes and use my iPad as a third party source. However, if I want to do this with a phone, I would need an iPhone to do that, right? So that's how that would work with Ecamm Live. Next question from social media. You guys in the live audience, keep bringing those questions. I'm going to get to them. I have one more question from social media. And that question is, what is the benefit of doing a produced live show versus a pre-recorded live show? Great question. So there are some really good benefits to doing a live show versus pre-recorded, right? Number one, if you're going to be doing a live show, the social media algorithms give more value and they push the content to more of your audience. The preference is live video. So the more lives you do, social media is going to give you a reward. They're going to show your lives to more of your audience, and you'll be able to get more people actually seeing that video. Because remember, social media buries all of our content. So when you are doing live video, they prefer and they give preference to live video. So you're going to get the help from social media if you're doing live video. The next biggest benefit is the engagement. If you do live streaming properly, you allow for two-way instant engagement, all right? So I can see a comment, I can share the comment, I can bring everybody into the discussion immediately. And I could answer your questions on the spot and help bring you guys into my community, right? And if you can do live streaming at a high level and engage with your audience, then listen, your audience is going to love your content even more. And there's more of a mindset to, hey, I want to tune in live and watch it because I want to be a part of that experience and I want to contribute. I want to ask questions. If it's a pre-recorded video, then you can watch it at any point in time. There's no rush to watch it, right? Whenever I get a chance, I want to watch it. But when it's a live video, people block out, people put it in their schedule. Yo, I need to see this person live, right? Which is why we like webinars. But the problem with webinars is COVID happened and we got webinared out. We got IG live out, right? Before, if we knew that there was certain people coming on, we were tuning in every single time, right? But now, if you want people to engage and really check for your lives, you got to go beyond just the standard go live. Just the standard turn on your camera and go live, or just jumping on StreamYards, or even Restream Studio and just hitting go live. You have to go beyond go live. And it doesn't take a lot to start, adding different dynamics, because even if you use the free version of OBS and you learn that, you can still add more dynamics to your lives than just hitting go live. Another huge benefit to like the software, if you're going to use Ecamm Live or OBS or vMix, is these platforms integrate into Zoom. So when everybody's having these boring Zooms, I'm out here with Ecamm Live and I have my animations going, I have my videos, I have my slides all happening in people's lives. Because Ecamm Live and these softwares integrate into Zoom, when other people are doing their Zoom sessions and you bring me in there, best believe I'm branding my streams. I am branding my streams. I have gone on corporate streams that promoting their brand, whoever their brand is, and all you will see is bam, all of a sudden you see subscribe. Don't forget. You see this, so you guys on IG can see it. I'll be on corporate streams, and I will be, my logo and stuff will be on my stream, and all of a sudden I'll be talking, and you will see things like where'd it go? You see this thing want to make me look bad right now. Where is it? Oh, you'll see things like this, right? You'll see subscribe. Click the you'll see all those things because I have integrated, or you can use these platforms. You can use these platforms and they integrate into Zoom. And Ecamm, OBS, vMix allow you to do all of these additional features, and it integrates into Zoom. So it's not just going to be a standard boring thing. So even if you are somebody that does a lot of webinars, you can spruce up your webinars and use these types of software to add all of these different elements to your stream, all right? All right, so let's get to the questions before we wrap up. Let's get to the questions inside of the comments. So Adafi asks, would you recommend a basic package for someone? What would you recommend a basic package for someone now starting? Great question. So someone now starting, I would do a webcam. I would definitely get away from using the webcam on your computer. Invest in a used standard webcam. Look at something like a Logitech C920, right? And I'm gonna post the link that I did with all of the different types of equipment and software you can use. I'm gonna post that again inside the comment section. Bam, bam, here you go. So upgrade your webcam. Look at something like a Logitech C920. Look for it used. They go for like 50, 60 bucks. Try to get something like that because that's just going to add more. It's going to add more clarity and give your lives a better look than just what you get on the standard laptop cameras. I would look at the free version of OBS or vMix, and I would learn those softwares because again, you can add different elements. You can add videos, you can add overlays, you could bring in guests, you could do quite a few things with those platforms, right? The next thing is audio. You need to ensure that your video doesn't have to be what you see here, right? But your audio, when people can hear you, this is huge. So if you are going to be using your computer and doing live stream, invest in like an Audio-Technica ATR 2100 microphone. Like again, I love buying used equipment, right? I bought my Mac used, I bought my iPad used, right? Save a lot of money. The Audio-Technica ATR 2100s, and I have the link in that description. If you grab one of those used or brand new, they're like 60 US. And these mics are beautiful, and they come with two different outlets. So if you want to do professional and you want to do the XLR cables into an audio interface, you have that option. But for starting out, you could just use the USB and connect it directly into your computer. And that audio is going to be clean. So get your audio game up as best as you possibly can. And then you could always work on the video aspect because video is more expensive, but at least get a webcam. And don't just use the one that your computer gives you, all right? So that is what I would start out with. Narissa asks, you've had sponsors from day one. How do you recommend someone who does not have an audience get sponsors or start if they cannot afford to set up what you are using? Great question. So what I will say, Narissa, is I will never do anything I can't do for myself. I believe in letting corporations be bandwagonists. If I have to rely on sponsorship, then I probably shouldn't be doing it. So I was doing all of this without any sponsors. It just so happened that I was like, you know what? I spent a lot of money investing, but I could recoup it. Let me go in and talk to my sponsors, because there's a lot of people in my community that would benefit from what I'm doing. And I got the people that best fit what I was doing to get started with, right? But I did not need to start this with sponsors. However, if you are going to get sponsors, right? Or if you want to start this but you don't have sponsors, I would start small. I would start with what I just talked about, getting a basic package, a good mic, decent webcam, and learning OBS, vMix, or Ecamm Live using either their free stuff or their first tier paid platforms, and going with that and working with that, and just start putting out the content. Because once you have the content, that is what you're going to be able to now use, and you can go to companies who are aligned with your content, your message. Once they are aligned with you, you can now go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I would like you guys to sponsor this, and figure out if you need monetary sponsorship or maybe it's not monetary. One of the biggest pieces of advice I would give to people getting sponsorship is the very first person you go to, don't ask for money. Ask for them to supplement something. So if you need an internet connection, go to one of the big boys, ask them, hey, I need internet for, a reduced price or free for X amount of time. This is what I'm doing, and this is what you're going to get in return. Let them know what you're going to get in return. And if they turn around and say, oh, that's all you need? All right, great, here's that. And I turn around and I now have one of the biggest companies as a sponsor. People don't care or ask you what they sponsor. They just know that they're a sponsor. And sponsors, unless you have a really great relationship with your sponsors don't really want to be the first one to sponsor something. They want to see who else is jumping in the boat with you, because then it's social proof that they need that this is a good idea and it's worthwhile. So if you got, free internet or something, or reduced internet, and they're now listed as a sponsor, you could go back now. You can go back to other sponsors and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This company is a sponsor. And the other sponsors will say, oh, shoot, okay. Yeah, what do you need? And you can go from there. All right? So start small. Don't start with any of the fancy equipment. Look at used equipment as well. And just start. Most important. All right, Thustin asks, what are some possible ways to monetize as a live streamer in the Caribbean? So one, you could sell access to your live stream, right? If you want to charge a fee, if you're doing things at a high quality, you can charge for access to your content. That's going to be the number one way to monetize. If you're going to wait to be able to monetize on YouTube and Facebook, you have to wait until you qualify. And YouTube is 4,000 hours of watch time in 1 year and 1,000 subscribers. That's a lot to get. And there's so many other ways to monetize without needing the platforms to monetize. So you could sell access, you can sell products, right? So you could use this. If you sell products, you could use your live to promote your brand, right? And refer people back to your platform to place orders. You could do affiliate marketing. So people have asked for the links to what I'm using. Those are affiliate links that I have in that blog. So I monetize off of Amazon as well. So every single time people purchase equipment, that just helps me produce content, right? So you could do affiliate marketing, sell access, affiliate marketing. And then selling products, do e-commerce. Sell products, sell somebody's product or sell your own product on your platforms, and use your lives to drive traffic to your brand, which will ultimately get people to know, like, and trust you, and turn those people into paid customers, right? And you could do all of that before ever needing a platform to monetize. So those are just a couple of ways that you can monetize. Dominic asks, do you need a capture card to connect the iPad, or is it USB connection? So it is for Ecamm Live and the iPad, it's straight USB connection. Once you connect, and it's plug and play. Once you connect the USB, it automatically pops up in Ecamm Live as a feed, and you can switch between the two and you could use it. Same thing with iPhones as well. Ashton asks, any recommendations on non-Apple based hardware software? So yeah, you could use PC. You could use a PC. Get something that has an Intel i7 processor, preferably because live streaming does take a lot of horsepower. So if you can get an i7 processor, if you can get something with a minimum of 16 gigs of RAM, because listen, live streaming eats up power. 8 gigs, you're going to see your system balling, begging for help. So try to get at least a minimum of 16 gigs. And then, 256 gig storage, cool. And then you could use webcams. Everything else is universal. It's really everything else is universal. Ecamm Live is the only software that is specific to Mac. So if you're going to be using PC, you could use your PC and you could use software like OBS, vMix, any one of those other platforms you could use. All right. And we're coming down to the last bit of questions. Daffy asks, yes, I had to tell someone I'm watching you live show that I will come to them when the live finish because I don't want to miss out the live experience. Exactly. When you watch people live, it's a whole vibe. All right. So I got a lot of good used gear from Facebook Marketplace. Dominic, you're absolutely right. I went on eBay and got gear and got used gear as well. So guys, listen, we are just at the hour and 53-minute mark. Give yourself a round of applause if you are still here tuning in. If you are still here, let me know in the comments. Give me the fireworks to 100s. Let me know if you guys enjoyed tonight's bonus episode. All right. We are officially done for season 1. Officially done. All right. You guys can stay up to date by joining the mailing list, and any new news about the show for season 2 or any one-off episodes, I'll be letting you guys know via social media and the email list. And I have some really good things coming out. The 2 announcements that I wanted to give the people who have tuned into the end of the program, because you guys have been rocking with me from jump, right? The 2 announcements I want to make tonight are: the Digital Age is going to be the first Caribbean-wide broadcasted business show on Flow. The Digital Age is going to be the first Caribbean-wide business show broadcasted across the entire Caribbean. And I'm talking about a show produced here live right in Trinidad. This is going to be on Flow. It's going up on their Flow. It's going to be on their Flow On Demand platform. So people across the entire Caribbean are going to be able to tune in to this content. This was something that was been in the works, and to finally start to put together all the pieces and finalizing it, super dope. I can drink to that now. I can drink to that now. Right? I can drink to that now. So yes, Digital Age, the first show created in Trinidad, is going to be broadcasted live across the entire Caribbean. Super excited about that. Just imagine, you can now go on TV or on the Flow On Demand and you could watch this content, right? It's dope. And big ups to Flow for even believing and seeing the need for this content to be put out there. And they've been in from the jump. Same thing with Eastern, same thing with Buzz. These guys are in from the jump. The next big announcement is the pre-registration. The registration has started for Digipreneur Academy. Digipreneur Academy is the first online business Caribbean school teaching entrepreneurs in the Caribbean how to build their digital assets, like your websites, your email marketing, your notification marketing, how to do SEO, how to utilize all of the payment processors that are focused in the Caribbean. people outside of the Caribbean can still use the content because it's going to be universal. But there's going to be content that's specific to us in the Caribbean that is going to be addressed. And when we reach those points in the courses, if you're not in the Caribbean, then you could either look at some of the other content we'll have that is going to show you what you need to do for your market. But this was done for Caribbean entrepreneurs, right? We needed a place where we could learn how to build our online businesses and learn about the different platforms in order to do that, and learn about the software, learn about the tools in order to build our businesses online. Even if your business is not 100% online, if you're somebody who you have a brick and mortar and you need to take yourself online, this course is going to be good. And these are giving you high income skills, because now you're saving money by either not hiring a developer. Now, you can hire a developer if you want to. If you have the money, do that. Hire a developer. If you want to learn the skill and do it yourself, the Academy is for you. Pre-registration is started. So the Digital Assets Bundle 1 contains, from start to finish, getting from domain name, hosting, and building your entire website with all e-commerce integrations, everything, start to finish. By the end of the Digital Assets Bundle 1, you can then build your entire platform. The cost of the Digital Assets Bundle is 150 US, right? So that works out to be 1,000 TT if you're in Trinidad. And you will have all access to all of the courses in the bundle. And for tuning in to the end, you get $25 off if you register as an early bird. And that code, I'm going to put it in the chat. The code is early bird. If you register, the Academy code is simply early bird, and you will get 25 US off the registration for the bundle. And again, this is going to be good for those that are looking to gain a skill, build their own business, take it online, and you save so much money from hiring developers. You will also have access to our private Facebook group, where there's going to be a lot of exclusive content going in there. I'm going to be doing exclusive lives. One of my favorite things I have planned for you guys is the Work With Me lives. So when I go live and I'm building out a lot of the things that you guys see me doing, and I'm walking you through step by step how I do everything, so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. That is going to be things happening inside the live Facebook group, the private Facebook group, all right? So yeah, that's it. Listen, thank you guys for making it through. I can't wait for season 2. That's going to be dope. That's going to be dope. We're going to have a lot of fun in season 2. Like I said, there may be some one-off episodes because there's some companies looking to do some launches that's going to be interesting. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to the email list and social media to learn all about that. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for rocking with me. We started Digital Age June 25th. It's now September 8th. And a lot of y'all have been tuning in every single week, whether it was live or you guys caught it afterwards. Salute to all of you guys. I hope you guys have definitely learned something. I've seen many of you guys have gotten started on building your business, and that is absolutely amazing to me. But listen, I can't wait. Before Digital Age Season 2 starts, Digipreneur FM, the podcast has to happen. And just in time is Kevin Valley. Shout out to Kevin Valley. Kevin, I was telling everybody how you helped me tremendously throughout this entire process, prepping, getting set up, calming my nerves, getting that host mindset under wraps so I can do what I'm doing. And thank you tremendously. You've definitely been a huge help throughout this entire process. Shout out to Kevin Valley. All right. So that being said, folks, I want you guys to stay safe, go digital, and you see, look at that. I try to end on a nice big bang, and technology doesn't want me to be great. So let me try that again. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching The Digital Age. And you guys can find me on any social media platform. You can Google me, Keron Rose. You can check out KeronRose.com for the platform to reach out to me. And I will see you guys soon. All right. Take care. Okay, bye.